This is the Global Podcast Network, where executives and professionals connect, share, and inspire. Stay tuned for the conversations that drive success.
We are back today on this Thursday with Debra Hodgen to talk more about what she does as a biodynamic craniosacral therapist and so much more at Debra Hodgen Wellness. And we're excited that she joins us today live here. And we have a very special guest, Marie, who we're going to meet in just a moment. First and foremost, Debra, say hello to your audience.
Hello, everybody.
Great. And tell us
How
a
are
little
you
bit about
doing?
yourself, and let's get into our guests too. Bring it on.
Okay, so I am a certified biodynamic craniosacral therapist, and that can help physical issues people have, or pain or accidents, and it can also be a very helpful way for people to integrate how they are, who they are, mentally and emotionally as well. And the straight ahead biodynamic is just about holding space and listening to what's going on in the body. It's a very light touch, and people really have some amazing experiences with it. Our the person who started craniosacral therapy just passed away recently, and so that was kind of a surprise. He always seemed like the kind of person that would live forever. He had so much wonderful energy, and so that caused me to go and look at some of his books and works, and just how deeply beautiful it is. And he at one point was even a Zen priest and Buddhist priest. And there's just such a great range. And I feel grateful that I have received so much teaching from that lineage. So
Well,
it's
thank
really
you.
great.
Wonderful to have you back. And who is Marie Young? Welcome to the show. Please introduce yourself.
Thank you, Jill, Debra. I appreciate being invited. Well, I'm a certified leadership coach and life coach and Enneagram teacher.
Wow. And how do the two of you meet?
And you work with leaders, and you work with change makers in a coaching role. And for someone who's never worked with a coach, what does that actually look like? And how can it support our growth?
Well, it's the same no matter if you're a senior executive or just somebody out in the world looking to have more of what you want in the world. It's the same process, and that's really coming home to yourself. Mm-hmm. And I facilitate that by holding your agenda. And what I mean by agenda is not your day to day, what you want to do, but really what you want in life and who you want to be. And that's called a big agenda. And I hold that for people, even when they forget, because it's very easy to forget.
Yeah.
So we form an alliance with what you want to get out of coaching. And then really you set the subject matter or the weekly, monthly agenda for what we're going to cover. And really it's about growth, your own growth.
Beautiful. And how the two of you meet?
We met at the meditation center that we attend. Now it's a informal one, because during COVID our actual physical center closed. But we met there, and usually on a Sunday morning, 1 or 2 Sunday mornings a month, we get together and chant and meditate. And so we have kind of a similar focus in the world.
Yes. And Deborah and I got to know each other. We served on the board of directors for
Oh,
our
wow.
local center. And
Yeah. And that you get to know everybody really well that way.
yes, you do.
I'm sure.
So,
Wonderful.
Marie, you talk a lot about presence, and that makes sense to me from being a meditator and doing the work I do. But how would you describe presence to people that aren't familiar with that idea?
Well, in meditation, it's very familiar to us. And also, I think our work is very aligned, Deborah,
Yeah, I
because
think it's similar too. And
it's about getting away from the wounding and the patterns that are entrenched in you to be fully yourself, to be fully in your body with your emotions and your mind online and congruent. When you have all three of those online at the same time, that's what I call presence.
yeah.
So it's not a mystical thing or something that's elusive. It's really in our own power to be in the moment.
Beautiful.
Yeah.
But it's not easy.
No. And I can see how that's similar to craniosacral, because one of the key elements to it is what I call holding space. So I think holding space is probably very similar to what you call presence, because I have a client there, and for any number of reasons they need to be on the table, and just being with someone, fully listening to them, allowing them to really feel what their body feels like, and how are you just now, that kind of a question. So I think you're correct in that we're similar in that. What I don't know enough about, but I'm interested in, and I don't even say it properly. Here's another word I don't say properly, but the Enneagram.
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 Yeah, can you tell our podcast audience exactly what that is and how it benefits us?
Sure. Well, first, I want to comment about what you said about creating a
Oh, okay.
holding space,
Uh-huh.
because that's really beautiful. And it dovetails right into the Enneagram, because when we're infants, even when we're in the womb, there's a holding environment.
Yeah.
Mhm.
And that holding environment can either take care of our needs in a really fulfilling way, or there's something missing, and nobody's perfect. No parent's perfect. So there's
Yeah.
always something missing. They can't be there right immediately when you need to be changed or comforted or fed.
Yeah.
And so what happens is we create strategies
Okay. Yep.
as infants on up. And these strategies are brilliantly outlined in the system called the Enneagram. And there's 9 different main strategies that form the pathways of personality. Really, it forms our personality. So the Enneagram simply gives you a map to see how your personality was created
Mm-hmm.
and the trouble you get in. It reveals our gifts, but also those patterns that hold us back and the strategies that served us maybe for our whole life, but now they're overused and they get us into trouble.
Yep.
Uh-huh. Sometimes we react in ways and we don't even really think about what we're doing. It's sort of a, just a pattern, right?
Exactly. And it's largely unconscious. And so what my coaching does and the Enneagram, using it as a foundation, is it brings self-awareness
Yeah.
to those underlying patterns and strategies so that you can catch yourself in the act and respond rather than react.
Uh-huh. And it seems like it makes you a more authentic human being because, I mean, I know when I meet certain people, they kind of seem like they're just, you know, pieces on a game board or something and kind of just going through there. And it doesn't seem authentic to me. It
Yeah.
seems like you could, because
Well,
you're trying to be safe or you're trying to
yes.
protect yourself.
And thank you. I love that you brought that up because there's sensitivities that the Enneagram has identified
Yeah.
in the 9 types, and they're divided into 3: mind, heart, and body, or
Okay.
thinking, feeling, and doing. And so for the thinkers, it's logical. It's about safety and security. That's their sensitivity. And
Uh-huh.
their mind takes them all sorts of places,
Hmm.
trying to anticipate danger, stay out of danger, and feel certain in the world. It's about certainty in the world. And then for the feeling types or the heart types, it's about, do you love me? Do you approve of me? And creating that image that you think
Yeah.
people want to see or will approve of. And then for the body types, the doing types, it's about agency, control,
Mm-hmm.
autonomy. Can I do what I want to do when I want to do it? Do I have sovereignty in this world? And those are the sensitivities. And so yes, they end up giving you what you want. I mean, those are the 3 basic needs, or those
Yeah.
basic needs of all of us. But there's a particular dominant one that you're most sensitive to.
And so you operate from that point, no matter what. You might have
Right. And it's an
something else in.
underlying motivation that you really don't know is there until you learn a system like the Enneagram that you can recognize, oh gosh, yeah, underneath this is really this need to be certain, or this need to connect and be
Yeah.
loved, or this need to control my environment.
I know when I meet people, for the first time or meet someone at a party or whatever, I think sometimes I'm really drawn toward a person and sometimes I feel pushed away.
Yeah.
And it's that I'm kind of that way too, even if I shop or something, I'm sort of
Yeah.
drawn to something on a pushed away. And I think part of it is this thing of are they aligned with what they're doing? Is there
Yes,
authenticity there?
yes, because one, we're drawn to people that can teach us things, to people
Hmm.
that we resonate with, but also we're drawn to people that are truly being in the moment and being themselves. And all of these patterns and sensitivities and underlying motivations just take us out of that.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's so comfortable to be with a person who is really self-aware and authentic. I mean, it just
Yes.
so much nicer. You feel like other types of folks, you have to kind of work at being there with them.
Mm-hmm. Because
To
they're not really there.
Right?
yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, yeah. One
They're
of the
not
things
really there.
one of the things we talk about or can feel in craniosacral is some of the practitioners we talk and there's sort of a thing where the person will leave their body kind of it's
Mm-hmm.
you're working on them but maybe for some reason it's too much for them to really feel their feelings or remember things that come up and you can literally feel somebody just go out and not be present right there. And then what I usually do as a practitioner is I'll say, so how are your hips feeling? Or something like that to
Uh-huh.
bring the body and and then they become more comfortable and get deeper into relaxation, but it takes more work. That's just kind of a go-to that some people have. If they're not real comfortable, they'll just kind of go away, and you can be
Yeah.
talking to someone, you can look at them and there's nobody there, you know.
Well, that's such a good explanation about leaving presence, getting out of presence. And
Mhm.
in your work, Deborah, you work somatically in the body, so you
Yeah.
can really feel when they get out.
Yeah.
And you've touched on also a very, probably the easiest way to get back into presence is identifying, what are you feeling in your hip?
Yeah.
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 Or where are your hands? That's what I used to say.
Oh, that's a
You
good
know,
one.
where are my hands? Where are my feet?
Uh-huh.
And that brings you right here. The body is presence.
And
Mm-hmm.
you say you help people lead from the inside out.
Yeah.
And what
Yes.
does that mean exactly? How do you translate that?
Well, that's kind of been a tagline in the past, leading from the inside out.
Well, it
And
Yep.
seems to be working.
and really, it's about centering within yourself, finding that what we say in meditation is really your true self, your true nature. And when you're in presence, you're automatically in true nature or your true self.
Yeah.
And there's practices of meditation, tai chi, qigong, um, singing
Yoga.
and chanting,
Yeah.
all of those things can help bring you into presence and
Uh-huh.
back into connecting with that true nature. You know, the personality and the thing, you know, that I've talked about that the Enneagram points out,
Yeah.
it's really 9 facets of unity at its core, 9 ways of being in this world in your true nature.
Okay.
And that's the core of it. And then it maps out the ways we get away from that,
Mm-hmm.
Mm.
either leaving our mind or misusing our mind with monkey mind or worst case scenarios, or being in our misusing our body by pushing against things and trying to control, um, overdoing things. You know, each one,
Yeah.
in the emotions, in the heart, it's about manipulation. Um,
And then each one of those things are what pull you out of presence, right?
Mm-hmm.
right, those are the misuses, the way that we, when we're overwhelmed, something's going on. You mentioned earlier, you can tell in a body, somebody's body, when they can't be with what is.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And those are the ways that people leave presence or leave what is.
Uh-huh. That makes perfect sense.
Beautifully said.
Um, yeah. In your first book, I wrote this down, Emergence, a path
Yes,
to
here it
presence.
is.
Yeah, there it is,
Emergence, a
Emergence.
path to presence.
You explore how we come home to ourselves,
Yeah.
and what are kind of touched on it a little bit, but what are some of the practices that really help us come home to ourselves?
You know, and that people might say, coming home, what do you mean? I'm here.
Yeah. Yeah.
But
No.
coming home is really coming home to who we really
Really
are
are. Got it.
at our center, without all the stuff that we do on top of it to survive. Um,
And how do we know when we're not there? I mean, things, I mean, I think things just don't work as well.
Great question.
absolutely. And there's a feeling when you're home, when you've come home and you're in center, in your heart, fully in your body, and your mind is quiet and clear and receiving. And a word I love to use that I think really fits is congruency.
Mm.
Yeah.
When you've come home, you are aligned, you are congruent.
Yeah.
And there's a quiet power there. And what you say, what you feel, and what you do, they match.
Yeah.
And then you described earlier those people you want to be around, Deborah, that you're drawn to.
Be
Those are the
authentic.
people that are congruent
Yeah.
and have come home.
Yeah.
Ah,
That makes perfect sense.
beautiful.
Absolutely.
It's not
And
easy to
you
stay
get,
there, though.
no, why is that?
Well, life gets in the way and people
Yeah.
poke us. I love several years ago, it was poke the bear.
Yep.
And they wake up these patterns and these strategies, and then we start moving around the world strategizing
Yep.
how to survive, how to get what we want, and how to cope when we don't get what we want. And all of those things take us out of presence or out of our true nature.
And that the feeling of what's true, what's really true, and what's familiar. There's
Mm-hmm.
sometimes two different things. We might think, oh, well, I do this way, but there's a truth that we
Yeah.
sometimes miss.
I love that. And one of the sections in my book is standing in your truth.
Ah,
Yes, and what I mean by that it is really being able to embody who you are
Yep.
and what your values are, and living into those values.
mhm.
And most of us, we live from what other people want, or expectations of others,
Yeah.
or things that we think other people want of us. Um,
Yeah, I can.
so
No,
really standing in your truth, speaking your
yeah,
truth is being comfortable with who you are,
are.
and knowing your own true value, and that what you say means something.
Uh-huh. And people can count on you because
And people can count on
what
you.
is the truth?
That's
Yes,
huge. Yep.
that's big. And it's also, Deborah, I'm glad you brought that up. It's being trustworthy
Okay.
Mhm.
and being somebody that somebody else can depend on. And just like you talked about being attracted to certain people who are very present, you know who they are.
Yeah.
You can count on them, and they're not going to react in a way that's scary or uncomfortable.
Yeah.
Those people are psychologically safe, we say.
Yeah.
And
I
not
have one
easy to
more
come by,
question
but go
for
ahead. Go
you.
ahead.
Yeah, that's true.
You have an upcoming book, a new book. It's called Let It Unfold: Love, Loss, and Surrender. And how do those themes show up in your work, or navigating change or burnout?
Well, this book has been ready for the last 10 years, but the world and me hasn't been ready to release it. It was comes from poetry I wrote during 3 different trips to an ashram in India, which you've been there too, Deborah, and the lineage of our meditation path. And I went through a complete life meltdown. Pretty much everything in my life ended at once. And I had a total identity crisis. And this was how I got through it was writing poetry daily and coming to terms with not knowing,
Yeah.
being totally uncertain, and being completely crushed in grief and loss. And then the process of complete surrender.
Yeah.
I can't do this. I need
Mm-hmm.
help. I
Ah,
need help. You do it for me. You show me the way. And so this year, at least for me, has
mhm.
been another identity shattering um, time and there's so much uncertainty in the world right now. And I thought, okay, now is the time that I can release this book, because as I found in my first book, the personal is the universal. So even though it's my personal experience of love, loss, and surrender, I think it's something we all go through and we all can identify with. And that's what my hope is, to bring comfort and maybe a way through that's more positive in sometimes what can lead to hopelessness
Yes,
Yeah.
yes.
with so much going on in the world.
Beautifully said. Thank
Thank
you
you
so
so
much.
much.
And how can we get in touch with you, Marie? Just if someone's
Yeah,
listening out there,
tell
would you
people
mind
how to,
sharing?
Oh,
yeah.
thank you, Jill. Yes, my book is available on anywhere you love to buy your books. And Substack, I write a newsletter on Substack, and you can
Mm-hmm.
find me there. And
Your website.
YouTube, I'm active on YouTube as well. And my um, website is smariyoung.com.
Perfect. Thank you
Lots of
so
ways to
much.
find me.
Great.
That's
And
great.
Debra?
And I'm DebraHodgen.com, and you spell that DebraHodgen.com, and it talks about craniosacral, and it talks about some gentle yoga and chair yoga that I'm doing right now. And yeah.
Beautiful. Well, thank you so much for being here and for joining us. And always a pleasure having you. And thanks for bringing Marie on today. Thank you so much, ladies.
Thank you.
Thank you.
You're
Bye.
welcome. Hope you have a fantastic day. Okay.
We shall.
Bye. Thank
Yeah.
you.
Bye.
Bye.
This is the Global Podcast Network, where executives and professionals connect, share, and inspire. Stay tuned for the conversations that drive success.